All right. Good evening and welcome everybody to this info webinar. My name is Megha. I am an associate professor at the Center for Ayurveda Biology and Holistic Nutrition here at TDU. I'm also one of the program coordinators of this program. My colleague, Dr. Vishnu Prasad, will be joining us shortly. So we welcome you to this webinar to learn more about our program. And since we are few participants, we will also have an opportunity to interact via the chat function as well as by just turning on our speakers. I will spend the first 20 to 25 minutes talking about our program, and then we will throw it up open for questions. We are recording the first half of this session, that is the webinar itself. And after that, we will not be recording the session anymore. So you will be able to ask questions that you have. Now, for those of you who are in the audience, you might wonder, what is life sciences and Ayurveda biology doing together? And this is a question that we get asked often. And people wonder if this is a force fit, right? So at one hand, you have Ayurveda, and on the other hand, you have life sciences. Now, those of you who come from a BSc background would be quite familiar with the term life sciences. Perhaps not so much those of my colleagues coming from Ayurveda background. Now, epistemologically, we think that these terms are quite similar. If one extracts from the Sanskrit Ayu as life and Veda as science, then Ayurveda is just another way of saying life science. And the difference we think between life sciences and Ayurveda biology lies in the perspective. What might be Jala in Ayurveda is water for us in the life sciences. And throughout, education in term post-independence, for some reason we have siloed these two combinations. And so after a +2, we either end up doing a BAMS degree or we go into fundamental science. So we get a BSc degree, or we go into professional courses such as pharmacy, veterinary sciences, MBBS. However, if you look at biology, life sciences, and biomedicine, it is more than just a summation of all the things we know in biology alone. It combines chemistry, it combines physics, because none of the instrumentation would run without it. And so therefore, there are many parts to this equation. And we hope to show one part of it to our attendees in the course. Now, this is India's first MSc program to offer modern biology and Ayurveda together. Over the next 5 or 6 slides, I will emphasize a little bit more about what this together means. I'll start by talking about the togetherness that we observe in our first batch of students. In the screen in front of you are 14 of our first batch. There are 6 students who are from a BAMS background, 1 who is from a SOVA RICPA background, 6 who came from a BSc background, and 1 of our students who actually has an MSc but decided she wanted another one. And I can't tell you what a wonderful journey it has been for all of us as faculty to enjoy learning with our students, because each one of them brings a very different perspective. And so this program firstly brings people together from very diverse backgrounds, because we believe that learning doesn't happen from faculty to student, but it happens faculty to student, student to student, and student to other knowledge seekers. Let us shift to another focus, which is that of our curriculum. Now, in the screen in front of you, you will see many different words: Ayurveda, bioinformatics, biochemistry, pharmacognosy, ecology, and they might seem very disparate to you. Now, let me put together these subjects in our worldview. If you think of it purely in terms of silos in the type of education system that we are used to, you will start to classify these subjects as either being in Ayurveda alone or coming from biology. So Ayurveda will come to the extreme left of this spectrum, right? Fundamentals of Ayurveda. Somewhere in the middle are medicinal plants, pharmacognosy, because they involve a certain amount of chemistry. And then finally, there are subjects that you would consider as pure biology, right? Your cell biology, conservation, and ecology. However, if you think of another type of perspective, and that is of transdisciplinary approach, then the boundaries between all of these subjects start to blur. Because then you approach a subject with all the possible perspectives that are available to you on that particular topic. And so now we have reorganized our curriculum or these subjects based on a transdisciplinary approach. So when you come to our program in the first semester, not only are you learning the fundamentals of Ayurveda, but you're also complementing it with biochemistry, bioinformatics, and molecular biology. Now, for those of my fellow attendees here who are coming from a BAMS background, you might be a little bored, thinking, I already know Ayurveda, why do I have to see it again? Because the perspective that this course offers is very different from what you might have been exposed to. Complement that exposure with local health traditions, molecular biology, computational biology. Moving on, in the second semester, again, this whole concept of being together comes in the fore when you have subjects such as pharmacognosy and cell biology side by side. Our faculty tried an experiment this semester. They took immunology as an integrative course. We had an Ayurveda Vaidya and a cell biologist take this as a jugalbandi. And this is the kind of togetherness that you can expect in terms of our curriculum. Having got the foundation, in semester 3, we focus on subjects that require a much larger purview, such as One Health and research methodology, along with electives. And the unique feature about our course is that you can choose an elective from any field that you like, because we believe that knowledge can't really be siloed. You can't really choose a subject only from biology or only from chemistry. We want our students to explore their curiosity, look at and learn subjects that they are interested in. And so therefore can take electives from any field, starting from something like accountancy to dance to something more mundane like statistics. Semester 3 also starts off with a research project, and that is again left to the students to decide where they want to do and what they want to do. We'll come back to this towards the end of this webinar. We also believe that it's not simply enough for you to get a grounding in the type of subjects, but instead also get a very hands-on experiential learning with whatever you are doing. And so each semester's curriculum is complemented by some sort of experiential visits or hands-on experience. For example, in semester 1, we have subjects such as biochemistry and molecular biology. Now, those of you who are coming from a BSc background would feel that I have already done these kind of experiments before. But the difference is in that in TDU, we don't just demonstrate experiments, we ask students to do the experiments themselves. So the first semester has complement of both lab as well as field visits, along with the theory portion. That continues on to the second semester, where we also have additional workshops. Now, there are some subjects in which we feel that students require a grounding, and we might not have the expertise, so we bring the experts. So last semester, we had professors from IBAB It's a bioinformatic institute here in Bangalore. They came out and conducted a bioinformatic workshop. Semester 3 and 4 is got again the subjects I mentioned as well as electives and the preparation for a dissertation project. Now, a dissertation project is also a hands-on learning experience, and we leave it up to the student to decide what they would like to do. If you're a clinician, perhaps 1 year of just theory and studies might bore you, and you might want to get back into clinical practice. And so we encourage you to go back and work with clinicians on a clinical problem. You might be a BSc student or a BA or a B Pharm student who's interested in a very specific local health tradition and what impact it has in terms of the community, or whether the biology of this particular local health tradition really works. Go out, explore for yourselves. TDU offers the opportunity for you to do a dissertation project either in-house or go anywhere in India or in the world to explore a question of your choice. Some of you might not have heard about TDU. So now I will switch gears and talk just a little bit about our university. We are a small university and we are a state private university, Karnataka State Private University. We are an offshoot of an NGO called the Foundation for Revitalization of Local Health Traditions. This institute gave rise to two places. One is our university, because we felt the need to document, research, and educate people in local health traditions and what we consider are India's knowledge systems. The other place that FRLHD gave rise to is the IAIM Healthcare Center. This 100-bed hospital is located right opposite our university, giving us the breadth to do clinical research. And for those of you who are interested in clinical practice, it offers an avenue for you to do a research project that is clinical in nature. We also have a whole slew of partner institute, because keeping to the ethos of transdisciplinary, we believe that everybody has something to bring to the table. A dancer might look at a tree in a very different way. A yoga maestro might look at a tree in terms of, the tree pose. A botanist might look at a tree from a very different angle. A molecular biologist might just be interested in the phylogeny of that tree. So that same tree can be viewed from so many different perspectives. And we have partners in cinema, in science, in conservation, in policy that allows any student to look at that same tree from different perspectives. Tying in together both our student and curriculum are our faculty. And I will just give you an example of 4 of the type of faculty that we have. On this page are people with very different backgrounds. Ashwini is a PhD in biophysics. Prakash is an Ayurveda doctor who also has an MPH or a public health degree. Nuri is a botanist who is committed to looking at medicinal plants and maintains perhaps one of India's most unique herbariums on our campus. Subramanya is an Ayurveda Vaidya who decided that his path lay in academia and did a PhD in pharmacology. And so, as you can see, this concept of togetherness in terms of the students, in terms of our curriculum, also trickles down to our faculty. And so it allows us to create an environment for any student to feel that whatever knowledge they have is true in that little perspective that they have seen. And now come, join us, see it from many different angles. Students often ask us, what are the future opportunities? Now, this is a very typical MSc Life Sciences program in one sense. And so therefore, the opportunities that lie are going to be similar in terms of other MSc programs. However, I think there are some distinguishing parameters. This course allows you to be innovative. You gain a very uncommon perspective about biology, human health, and nature itself. I am trained in biochemistry, and I've recently become acquainted with Ayurveda only about 3 years ago. And I can't tell you how it has changed the way I approach my research problems, because I feel it allows me the opportunity to discover new biology, both with plants as well as animals. Those of you who have an entrepreneurial bent of mind, you might want to design new products. You might be a Vaidya who's very used to making a particular churna. Come to our course. Maybe you will learn the principles of why that churna works and how to create a churna that is just slightly more different. Or maybe you want to work in the area of nutraceuticals and supplements. Those of you who want to continue to have a clinical practice might benefit greatly from knowing all the technologies and terminologies that are available in modern biology so that you become better practitioners. So we see our students going to many different domains, either research or industry or public health. The research options are fairly straightforward. It can be in the area of discovery of drugs, clinical biology, conservation, ethnobotany. In terms of industry, the major gap right now for a lot of industries looking to get into traditional foods or to get into medicinal plants is supply chain. And because TDU has a very strong root in conservation, this is one area we feel our students can really shine in, because our students are taught how to identify plants, the taxonomy, where they are located, how to better make sure that the plant that you want is exactly what you see. And then they also know the downstream steps this particular plants can take care. We also feel that our students are extremely capable of doing advocacy. Advocacy so that India harnesses the power that it has in terms of its traditional knowledge systems along with modern science. Our course is very reasonably priced at an overall cost of about 3 lakhs that is spread over 2 years. And I'd be happy to discuss more on this in the Q&A. We also have a hostel facility on site. We have a beautiful campus, slightly small, but beautiful campus that is filled with medicinal trees and rare plants. In fact, many of our laboratories for medical plants happen outside on our campus. There's a hostel facility, and the hostel charges are over and above what are mentioned here for academics. Some unique things about our course: we have no age limit. Perhaps you've done something very different in life and now you want to come back and do Ayurveda biology. Welcome. Right now, we are limiting ourselves to those people who had at least some biology background. But please do write to us. There might be different ways in which we can accommodate you in our program. Students from this particular program have the capacity to compete for typical PhD exams in this country, as also apply abroad. This is particularly true of those of my audience members here who might have got an Ayush degree and are desirous of going abroad. The MSc Life Sciences degree is a standard UGC degree and can be used for applications abroad. Our curriculum is designed and the content is delivered in such a way that students should think and apply concepts. We don't believe in rote memorizations, and none of our approaches in our pedagogy will stress on simply learning facts. We believe students should know where to look for facts, not facts themselves. Well, some facts you must know, but I think you understand what I mean. We believe in hands-on experience. Lastly, the dissertation project that I talked to you about. Now, depending on your point of view and the kind of skill sets that you want to acquire, it can be performed in a clinical setup, a laboratory setup, in the field, working with the community. It can be theoretical in nature. Perhaps you want to review a whole host of manuscripts. Or it can be industry-based. So we are happy to send our students wherever they feel they want to grow and have a program. And like I said, you can pick electives that suit your interests. and from any source. So that includes online classes and online MOOC courses as well, those that are available in Coursera or Udemy, or our very own NPTL. The admissions process is ongoing and it's quite simple. We have already conducted an interview for our first lot of students. And now we are collecting applications for our second round of interviews. We have an online application process, which is quite simple. I would alert you to the fact that we ask 3 questions, and these 3 questions have a lot of weightage. The questions are why you want to do this program, talking about a certain health practice in your house and how it can be looked at. Then this is followed by a shortlisting process. So if you meet our criteria, we shortlist individuals for an interview. We conduct an online interview, and looking at the competition within the cohort, we offer positions. We only have 30 positions for this particular course, and we have no intention of exceeding these limits. Here are some contact information about our course. You're welcome to write to us, to talk to us, visit our website. We also have a YouTube channel in which we have conducted interviews with various Ayurveda Vaidyas as well as scientists to talk about Ayurveda biology and what that particular domain looks like from the perspective of either a practitioner or a teacher or a pharmacologist or a research scientist. With that, I will end my webinar, and I will exhort all my attendees to come be part of a bold new frontier. Vinay, I think